Good morning and welcome to Focus on the Palmetto State. I'm Judy Johnson. A program in South Carolina is working to connect service dogs to veterans suffering from PTSD and other problems. With the help of a grant, the group is training the dogs and then giving them away to vets. The idea is to improve the quality of life of the veterans with the help of canines like Darla. She's a service dog in training, and she joins me in the studio along with Bill Brightman with Service Dogs for Veterans to tell us more about his work. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here with her.
Thank you for bringing her.
Darla. Yeah.
She's adorable, and she's so good.
Yes.
Nice, calm dog.
She is.
So why did you start? I guess you're the one that started this organization.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Why? What was the calling? What did you hear?
Well, I'm a veteran myself, and I served in the Navy in the Vietnam era, and I knew how stressful coming home in that era was. So I had a real heart for veterans coming home today that don't get to be who they used to be because of post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury. And I've also been involved with several shelters in helping dogs socialize and get over kennel stress. So when I found out there wasn't an organization here in Greenville or in the upstate that was training service dogs for veterans that had illnesses, I wanted to start something, and I found a terrific partner in Connie Cleveland. She's our training partner at Dog Trainers Workshop. And now we're able to serve veterans that have various diagnoses from the VA. If they need a service dog or a companion dog, we can provide that at very low cost for local veterans through a local facility.
That's interesting because you come from a perspective of being there and having gone through this. How does a dog help a service person, a serviceman who's suffering from PTSD or other problems?
There can be many symptoms associated with post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injury, but often it's a feeling sometimes of embarrassment. They're trained as warriors and they come home, but they don't get to be who they used to be because of the diagnosis. So isolation is a big factor. Having trouble sleeping at night, either getting to sleep or staying asleep because of flashbacks and nightmares can be big issues, along with other factors. The dog can be trained, and dogs are trained according to the Americans with Disabilities Act to mitigate the symptoms that the veterans have. So they're actually a medical necessity to the service person. But we start out with basic training that teaches the dog obedience. It teaches the dog to be calm in stressful situations like Darla is right now, not at all stressed.
Okay, right. We're sweating.
Yeah, that's right. And also to be focused on their veteran. And our program is a little unique in that the veteran and the dog go through school together. The dog lives with the veteran and goes to school with the veteran. Most other programs, the classical approach is the professional trainers train the dog and then they hand it off to a veteran at the end, which may be 18 months of training. Our program is only 6 months old, or 6 months long rather, and because the veteran lives and works with the dog, the bond is really incredible. So after as little as 3 months, it's not unusual for me to hear from a veteran who's suffering with severe PTSD that my dog knows me better than I know myself. And I'm actually able to pull back on some of the medications I have to take because the dog helps me by alerting when I'm stressed in public or when I'm having a nightmare. The dog can alert to that very early on and reground the veteran, remind them that they're at home or they're safe in a public place. The dog is right by their side, like a battle buddy would be when they were in the service. It replaces that missing part.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And the best part is where you get the dogs.
Yes.
So tell us where you get your Darla here.
Yeah, when veterans come to us needing a dog, we spend quite a bit of time on the intake process, understanding the lifestyle of the veteran, what their medical symptoms are that the dog will have to be trained to mitigate, whether they have children at home, other pets at home, if they have a spouse. We take all that into consideration because first of all, when we find a dog, it has to be a wonderful pet to the family. And secondly, it has to perform as a working dog. When we know all the criteria that we need, then we start looking. We look in 12 different shelters, but primarily in our local county shelter, Greenville Animal Care on Furman Hall Road. And we'll find a great dog like Darla that you wonder, they're so beautiful and the temperament is so perfect for this kind of work that you wonder how they ever ended up in a shelter, but we're blessed that we always are able to find a great dog, usually within a month or two, and then the veteran and the dog can get acquainted with each other. The veteran is part of the selection process as well, so we do very well with that.
That's just so awesome that you're
Yeah.
saving this veteran and you're saving a
Right.
dog and you're putting them together and making a positive
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
How many people have you been able to help with this?
We're 2.5 years old at this point, and we have 18 graduates. And
Okay.
we expect this year that we're on course to probably have 12 to 14 graduates. So every year we've been growing as the word gets out in the veteran community about the service that's available. And we expect to see a big year this year in terms of attendance and graduates.
So when you find the dog, in the shelter, then you take it to Connie Cleveland's clinic?
Well, we
and-
first foster the dog. Our plan is that the dog would be fostered in a family situation so that they get used to living in a home if they haven't. Oftentimes the dogs are not well socialized. They might have a great temperament, but may not have been out of the backyard of a home before. So we put them with a foster. The foster takes the dog through beginner obedience at Connie Cleveland's Dog Trainers Workshop. And during that 6-week obedient class, then we introduce the dog and the veteran in the class. So the veteran comes to observe and get acquainted with the dog.
Okay.
And then at maybe the 3 or 4 week point of that beginner class, they'll have a home visit. The dog will go for like a weekend,
Okay.
2 days, 3 days, and get a short visit at home. And the veteran will get used to having a dog at home and working with the dog a little bit. After that beginner class is over, the dog will then go to live with the veteran, and the veteran will start school with his dog or her dog at that
Okay.
point. And it's a 6-month, 1 night a week for 1 hour program.
Okay. Well, that's not very much time.
It is not. It's about a third of the time normally that it takes. Most of that credit, all of that credit, actually goes to Connie's training techniques that she's developed over 35 years of
Right.
training dogs and service dogs as well, and our veterans benefit from that.
Okay, and you said, we don't have much time left, but you said this is funded through a grant. Is that how all this keeps going? And
We're a 501c3 charity. We're registered in the state of South Carolina as a public benefit corporation, and donations are what make us go. We get no federal, state, or local government help. So private individuals and private companies are what make us go. And through the donations we get, because we're an all-volunteer organization, then we're able to offer all that as grants to offset the training cost to
I
the
see.
veterans.
And people can make donations through your website?
Yes, they can. Our website is www.letter.v.org for service dogs for veterans.
All right, well, thank you so much for being here today and for coming up with this great idea.
Thank you.